are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about national crypto reserves, not from one, but many nations. We have to talk about global liquidity and money printing, because something is happening at the moment. And we have to talk about crypto and altcoin pumps with Vchain actually putting in a nice little pump today. Altcoins are moving good, but there's something that makes it even more bullish when you're looking at 5, 6% or 10% of your favorite altcoins. What is happening in the rest of crypto? So make sure to stay all the way through, and in the end we are, as always, discussing a little bit about Ecomi and Veve. So, good morning to each and every one of you. That is already going pretty good there with the likes on these live streams. We have about 60 likes on every stream, which is nice, but considering that 400, 500 people are watching it, it's a shame, right? I mean, 90% almost of everyone, except the rare hodlers, they always like, but 90% of everyone, they don't smash the like. So smash the like button right now. We have 10 people here, so 10 people need to like this stream. It helps tremendously. It's like a donation. You guys aren't aware, but it really helps a lot, right? So please. On another note, quick one here. It's the freaking Friday. So just to say, this week is coming to an end with a very great outlook for crypto here. And yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel, notifications on. Thank you to all the rare hodlers here behind me. You deserve this panel each and every time. And I thank you very much for supporting this channel, this journey, and I hope we're going to have such a great run, because it's looking fantastic. It's looking really, really good. And yeah, with that, let's jump right in. So, what's looking really good? Well, Bitcoin has or wants to break out. This day still has 17 hours left, or this candle. But Bitcoin wants to break out here, and it wants to invalidate the head and shoulders pattern, and it wants to go higher. Okay, that's what we're reading here, right? I mean, this we just hit 102k, or 102k. We did hit. We get rejected here, but that was expected at this level for a little bit. And as yesterday discussed, what we want to see is a breakout of this line. And by the way, putting this a little bit back, that could be already it, right? I mean, you have a fake out here and a breakout here. That could be already it. I mean, I said yesterday what we want to see is this, right? Some confirmation. So we should be heading higher. The only thing is that there's a weekend in between, and before the Trump inauguration. So we could expect some sideways-ish stuff, but maybe we break out today, close above, go sideways and pump more, right? That is all a possibility, but it's looking really, really good. And the reason for it is, this is news packed, right? The reason for it is this. Trump plans to designate cryptocurrency as national priority. executive order expected to create a crypto advisory council, which would be basically that, right? With Charles Hoskinson and so on, but make it official. Trump allies are discussing stopping federal crypto litigation, which is also important for building the reserve. And if we see here, Trump reportedly receptive to even build a strategic reserve with US-based cryptos, which are not only Bitcoin. And that, in my opinion, is actually a pretty smart move. Not because I hold so much US-based crypto. In fact, I don't think I do that much. But to make crypto companies that have valuations in the billions to come to the US and pay taxes in the US. And then maybe the benefit from getting into strategic reserve, it's like an incentive program. At the same time, you promise lower taxes on that stuff. So that's interesting, right? So we see here that Garlinghouse shared photo from dinner, calling it a strong start of 2025, right? For XRP. XRP is at all-time highs. So XRP is doing really, really great, right? See here, he pledged strategic national Bitcoin reserve at the Bitcoin conference, right? Cynthia Lummis wants to introduce the Bitcoin Act and so on. So everything is going in the narrative, right? By the way, I didn't look at the chat as much as I should. So let's see here quickly. The rare hodlers are in the house. Green Lantern is here, like for the Freaky Friday. GM fellow hodlers present, training, waiting for the stream. Rejection for BTC at 103k incoming. We will see about that. G Money is here. Good morning, my man. And Trucking Hank, obviously, as always. Good to see you guys. And also in the house, One Love, Jasper Frank, good morning to you. Looks like the Trump family wants to make a frag load of money with crypto, biggest KOL right now. Yeah, I think, yeah, it definitely looks like that. And it's not only Trump, right? I mean, all these senators, logically, all these senators are sitting in somewhere in Bitcoin, in crypto. And they want to profit, right? So they will pass on all these regulations or all these laws or everything that benefits crypto. They will pass these laws through, in my opinion, at least, right? So I could see that, right? Why would you? It's like when they ask in German Parliament, the only thing that gets unanimous approval in German Parliament is whether you should raise the salary of the parliament members or not, right? Everyone's like in favor. So if your wealth depends on it, probably everyone in favor that is in crypto. And by now, probably everyone understood that this is going to be a bullish year for crypto. So the likelihood that all these guys have crypto is pretty high. SL is also here, GM Brudi. Yeah, good morning to you. So here, 1.5 trillion, frankly, it's funny, right? Every time they put the trillion of the entire asset manager in front just to show just to shill it a little bit higher. But Franklin Templeton says, we expect to see strategic Bitcoin reserves added by several nations, right? That's not the first time that we hear it. We also had this comment here from Hunter Horsley. We just provided some information for a nation state asking about Bitcoin ETFs, considering moving some exposure from foreign currency government bonds into BTC. Bitcoin is entering a new chapter. Why is this? Well, why is this so extreme? Because the first step is that countries just purchase Bitcoin, right? Some Bitcoin, put it in a reserve. Then at some point we probably drop in a bear market. Everyone is, you're stupid. This and that nation is minus 30-40% right now. Haha. And then the next bull run comes and everyone is looking, these nations that adopted it right now, the valuation of the balance sheet is going higher. And other nations are looking at like, oh shit, we should have adopted Bitcoin, right? And that's where probably the other nations FOMO in. But then the next step is the nations that have to catch up. They're probably going to print currency and buy Bitcoin with printed currency, right? So basically they would then take it from their citizens, right? SL says, what's up, no Bitcoin reserve more? Why not? I don't understand. Where did you get this from? State of Oklahoma just introduced a bill for strategic Bitcoin reserve. So even if the US doesn't build a Bitcoin reserve or does it only with a fraction of the Bitcoin, so only the Silk Road Bitcoin, for example, whereas when they put the 120,000 back into Bitfinex or what that was, then there's still all the states in the US, they can build strategic Bitcoin reserve on state level, right? That's also something. Wherever a state within a country has their own finances, they can technically do this. So the other side of this is that the current government apparently, or at least according to whistleblowers, is destroying documents related to Bitcoin and crypto. If true, it will result in swift criminal referrals to the US Department of Justice, says Senator Cynthia Lummis. So apparently, we can see like we can see here in the document, they're claiming basically that everything that has to do with like suppression of price or like harmful legislation against crypto, whatever. Stuff like that, if they destroy evidence against that's pretty bad, right? So bad for them if it comes out. Bad also, this is a little bit on the funny side. This is, we like Janet Yellen here on this on this channel. So we see here breaking: Chinese hackers accessed Yellen's computer in US Treasury breach, as claimed by Bloomberg. And Elon Musk commented, maybe she clicked on the send me 1 BTC, I sent you 2 BTC email. I mean, I don't hope anything bad for her, but Chinese hackers hacking into US Treasury right before government change, that's pretty bad, right? That's pretty funny. Okay, so let's get to the real stuff, because the real deal is not whether some company adopts Bitcoin or not. The real deal is how the money printing is going and the injection of fresh fiat into the system is going to affect the price of Bitcoin and the rest of crypto, right? And we see just updated US reverse repo down under 100 billion now. So this reverse repo is basically used to purchase assets into the balance sheet of the central bank. And we see here down 65 billion in 2 days, meaning the uptick in federal balance sheet that we saw, or that we discussed yesterday, is likely caused by this. But if it's down 65 billion, that means there's only 35 billion left. And then you're out of money already, right? So that means if it's drained, then the printing will be initiated, right? So there's another 35 billion to spend, and then it's gone, right? So that is interesting. And yesterday we looked at this, right? Global central bank assets, we had a small uptick. Usually the upticks in these central bank assets lead to massive expansion in risk on assets, tech stocks, crypto, and so on, right? Even riskier stuff, Pokemon cards, like physical ones, comics, in sequence, right? But that is just on a side note, because what actually happens, like if global central bank assets just have the small uptick, what's actually happening? So I looked at this here. So we have basically here global central bank balance sheets. This is a chart of the total global reserves split, and then on the side split into US, Japan, China, and the EU central bank since 2023. So we see here the balance sheet was just on a downtrend, right? And the US balance sheet is basically sliding like you can ski on it, right? It looks like perfect mountain. So at some point, and this is only the latter part of what we've seen here, right? You use this part here. You see what happened before, right? I mean, if they would put the whole chart, you see what happened before globally on the sea crisis, right? Japan also like pretty low, even though that their policy was pretty loose, right? China is the only country that goes upwards. That's already buying and selling. They're trying to fix their economy. We can see it here, right? But they're the only ones that are going upwards. Maybe even everything in the expansion that we've seen so far might be driven by that. Who knows? And the EU also dropping like a rock. So what we will see at some point, we don't know exactly when, but what we will see is that this turns around at some point. I don't know how long it will take, but probably throughout this year, it's going to turn around for good. And then we will see a massive explosion out of these assets, in my opinion. As there is a correlation between expansion first and then expansion in this, which means that this whole expansion is not even like this whole expansion that we're seeing right now is without all of that fresh capital. Or it's not even capital. I'm sorry, without that freshly pumped in clown bucks, right? So yeah, that is that, and that is why I think that there's more to come. The funny thing here is this global debt, right? And then there is the GDP, right? So the world's debt hits a jaw-dropping 315 trillion in early 2024, climbing 1.3 trillion in 3 months. That equals 333% of global GDP. Yeah. The US and Japan led the borrowing frenzy in advanced economies, while China, India, and Mexico carried the torch for the emerging markets. Since the pandemic, global debt has ballooned by 54 trillion, up 21%. Non-financial companies owe 94 trillion, governments owe 91 trillion, financial institutions 70 trillion, and households owe 59 trillion. In the US, debt servicing costs now outpace defense spending, and guess what? There's no plan to fix it. Okay, so it's funny because I think it was Elon Musk here that commented on this post. The world owes the world a lot of money. And that is actually true, right? I mean, that statement is funny, but it's also true because it means like the world in total is overextending its credit card and is owing that money to itself. So there's only one way to pay that money back, and that is increase GDP until it matches this. So you need to increase GDP by 333% and match what is there in debt, and then you're equal. Then you can basically cancel everything and restart from new, right? But that will not happen. So, or at least it could happen with a combination of AI, robotics, space exploration, and so on, but not like within 1 year. So there's only one other way, and that is continue with the current system and offsetting debt and what you're owing to someone that owes to someone and so on, like create a circle by printing more money, right? Yeah, and basically Bitcoin is a share. It's like having a share in getting more out of that extensive money printing, basically being left out of this devaluation. That is a function, a mathematical function of Bitcoin. You're basically entitled to your share of this money printing, or in other words, if you flip it around, you're entitled with Bitcoin, with your money in Bitcoin, you're entitled to not that your money doesn't get devalued by the subsequent money printing, right? So interestingly, the dollar is extremely strong right now, and if you overlay it with the 2016 to 18 cycle, we should be dropping right now on Monday. Basically, we already started dropping. We should be dropping in the DXY from now on, maybe with some recoveries and so on, but overall we should be dropping for the rest of this year. And we see it here from basically end of 16 into end of 17 into 18. We only dropped on the DXY. So why is the high DXY is actually favorable for Trump? Because all these countries, they basically have either debt in dollar or dollar reserves somehow, right? So the ones that have the reserves, they're good because the dollar is strong right now, but they might have to do something with it because they know devaluation is coming. The ones that have debt in dollar, they are wrecked because it just went up. So the debt to repay the debt is going to be harder, especially if their own currency is extremely weak, right? So buying the dollar, repaying the debt, harder right now. So this puts the US in a better position to negotiate. And then subsequently, you want to weaken the dollar because when Trump takes office, right, then you want to have a little bit of a weaker dollar to favor the economy, right? So that is what we're expecting to happen again under Trump, that subsequently the dollar gets weakened. If you overlay this all what we've seen into a cycle, right? So you see here we have here an overlay of 16 to 18 with today, and here also, right, we have an overlay of this cycle with the 2017 cycle, and we have our current dip here that might be over right now, or somewhat over. Maybe there's a little bit more. We don't know, right? But right now it looks like this dip wants to be over. What's next is somehow a strong move to the upside. Okay. And everyone who says, "Oh no, now it's going to be different," well, look at this. I mean, yes, this bottom was different than this bottom, right? But it was a bottom at the same levels, more or less. Then this outpaced the cycle a little bit here, and then did a dip later than this. Okay, fine. But then it went back in correlation and so on, right? So this is like the curving. If you smoothen out the curve, it would be very, very similar. We're not dumping exactly at the same time. We're not pumping exactly at the same time, but we're forming something. That basically looks almost the same. Maybe even if you put it a little bit to the left, it would be exactly matching. So this bottom matches this bottom, right? Here also this bump matches this bump, and so on. So it's very, very similar, and I expect this to continue in a similar way. BlackRock also buying again, which means investors through BlackRock are buying right now, 111 million. It's coming back, right? But we're headed. Unfortunately, we are going into the weekend, which means sideways for another 2 days, very likely. But today, Friday, I mean, there's still 17 hours left for action, so maybe we get a fat candle out of today. Who knows, right? Let's look at the crypto market on daily and see what's going on, what's popping. And what do we see? Despite Fartcoin leading the charge, what the heck, right? Also, the dinosaurs are moving, right? 16% Litecoin, almost 17% Vchain, right? 17% EOS, even Sand is moving, H-bar 10%, Link 10%, we see it here, right? Flare. So there are a lot of the coins that actually, and I have to say this is bullish, right? All the coins that managed to stay in the top 100 of the older coins, they did really well. I mean, will they be outperformed by some new stuff? Maybe, potentially, right? But they did pretty well. Let's see also in the top 1 to 200. AMP is coming back, right? Morpho, 40% up. Deep, 23% up. AMP has 30%. Mana, also like Mana is like last cycle coin coming back. You see that even these like that have pretty dead metaverses, even those coins can move, right? So it should tell you something for certain coins in lower bracket. Let me know your favorite coins here, because then we can look at it. Let me know the coins that you think that are popping right now. So 1 to 100 is 2.8%, and you really see how the focus is on these top coins. Why? Because XRP and XLM and like these giant coins, they are getting all the attention, which makes total sense in the flow of alt season, right? So Bitcoin overlap Ethereum, large caps moving, right? Large caps are only starting to go up. Like, I mean, XRP has already pumped quite a bit, but large caps, they are firing, but the rest not. So you see here almost 3% on this one, but then down here in the low caps, you see only 0.5%, minus 0.1. There's a 1.6%, but that could be one coin only, or one or two coins that drive this. And then 900 to 1,000 minus, so negative again, right? We can even look at it. I mean, yeah, there are a couple of coins only. The rest is red, as expected, like Bird, Shrub, Pinot, whatever. I don't know these coins. So this is interesting. Why? Because if we look at Bitcoin dominance, we haven't really, like, Bitcoin dominance is down by 0.5% or so, right? Your move that you're seeing is literally a millimeter on this chart. Let's look at it even on a daily. This small red candle is the move that you're seeing today, right? So imagine how these look once this breaks down, tests the support once again, and then loses support, right? And then falls like a rock. Imagine this then times, I don't know, 100. The performance that we see right now is absolutely crazy, because you're having this big bearish retest, and you're just moving sideways, and potentially at some point losing this is going to be absolutely fantastic for altcoins, right? When this drops. USDT dominance. Let's look how the money flows back into the market. Also here, we have, yeah, this was expected. Where's my line? I drew exactly this. Where's my line? What the heck? Let's see if it's here and just didn't load. No, it's not. Where is it? Maybe I removed it on one of the streams, but you can go back. You will see it in the other streams. So we anticipated that we get some resistance here, but we know that sooner or later, I mean, here's still the arrow, right? Sooner or later, we're expecting this to dump. And the reason is that we are seeing a very clear-cut head and shoulders pattern here that is technically complete if we break out and confirm, right? USDT dominance, still relevant. Why? Because it basically means if it drops that USDT either gets converted into something else or into crypto, right? And very likely, since it's a stable coin, it's going to be converted into crypto in a bull run. So we're expecting this to fall like a rock as well, right? So USDT dominance down, Bitcoin dominance down, meaning USDT is getting converted into altcoins, or even in this part, right? I mean, what has happened? Bitcoin went down, USDT went up. That means people converted Bitcoin profits into USDT. If they allocate it back into Bitcoin, doesn't make any sense, right? Because they would be buying higher. They convert the USDT that is laying around, and it's 3.94% of the entire crypto market cap. So that means calculate a rough 4% on 2 trillion. That's what's there in USDT stablecoins, right? So yeah, that's what's there. I don't know, like how many billions that is, but that is expected to flow into, or at least a part of that, into crypto in the next couple of weeks and months to come. And then, exactly, then we will see it. Okay, so Vchain. Bodo is here. Talking about Vchain. Vchain has a good day right now. Let's check out Vchain. Let's see here. So Vchain is on a move. I mean, it's not much of a move, but it's a move. It feels good. It's a good move. We found support here on this level where the dotted line is. We found support on this retracement. We formed somewhat of a triple bottom, which we are breaking out of right now, right? What is going on with USDT in Europe? Oh, it's already known. Like, people made it a FUD content. But it's actually not that FUDish. It's just that MiCA regulation put basically in that MiCA regulation there was a framework putting out that USDT is not supported. Instead, it's USDC is supported. It means that USDT has to go with a proxy stablecoin that fulfills the criteria for the EU, as there has to be a reserve in EU fiat, which USDT, with which Tether didn't provide for USDT. So they have to create a certain stablecoin proxy with these reserves proven, and then they can use it. I think this news, in every cycle, there's always Tether FUD, and I think it's just not as relevant. So here, back to Vchain. By the way, just look at the prediction and how it actually moves, right? So the prediction was to have a dump, right? We have this dump. We're a little bit higher than this prediction, to be honest. And then after this dump, we continue to move. And after this dump, we're continuing to move. So you see here, right? It's like last cycle. Everything is like last cycle. So we will see how this continues, but it looks promising. And Vchain is up from this sweep. Like I mean, you see how market makers like liquidate the long positions when someone sees, oh, that's a triple bottom, I'm going long here, right? Boom, down, liquidated, and then you were right, but you're out of the game. 32% move in 4 days. 32%, right? Okay, so then the question is, what's the long-term picture here for Vchain, right? I mean, it's continuing this wave, right? Continuing upwards, continuing to pump, right? Approaching next, I would say next is testing again to break through roughly 8.2 cents. I think that would be the next step. We would be probably fairly quickly approaching this, spending 1 or 2 weeks on this, maybe blasting through then, hopefully. If we blast through, next step is 15 cents. Maybe not without pullback, but that's the next target. So we had been overbought a little bit, right, on the weekly. So the pullback was necessary. We hit about 80 and people took profit, right? Because if you imagine, like, from here down on the bottom to where we are, that's a roughly, right now, that's a 330%. That's not the best performance in the altcoin market. But on the other hand, it's also a last cycle coin, but it's still coming. If we look at Vchain on the monthly, right, then we can see that we are not overbought, right? Last bull run, we hit a valuation of 90, right? Here we are only at 60. So usually you would say, okay, the zone where you think about taking more bigger profits is when the RSI gets into the zone of 70. At least that's one indicator, right? So yeah, we will see how high Vchain has to go to get into that zone. But I would expect, like, going past 70, you should be at least at 10 cents. And then going into the 80s, probably you're approaching all-time highs and so on. We had a fake out here in the TSI, basically threatening a bearish cross, but then it just opened up again. So we didn't really cross it. I think we didn't cross, right? Yeah, we did. Like we crossed right back. So actually that's very rare. I've never seen this before, like this fake cross. But interesting, right? So it shows you how deep this correction here was, right? In along these months. Very, very deep correction. So deep that many thought, okay, it's over. This coin will not recover anymore, right? But here we are. Here we are. Looking at going back to, yeah, what's that? Going back to 8 cents. Yeah. I'd say that's the next target, and then we'll see. I mean, this is not like, we saw something similar here. We saw a bigger, deeper pullback here. I think we still have this rocket ship here left, right? Something similar, maybe shorter, but I think we still have that left. And we see already with XRP and some other altcoins that taking out the previous all-time high is not unrealistic this cycle. The last cycle, it was capped a little bit. So everyone is talking about diminishing returns and everything, but it's not guaranteed that these altcoins, that they don't take out their previous cycle high. So we could see higher prices than the 27 cents, but I'm going to take parts of my profits before and then have a rest of a bag right in case Vchain goes to 50 cents or whatever, right? So I'm going to take out a little bit at 8 cents, and then I'm going to take out another chunk at 15, somewhere at 15 cents, and then at all-time high another percentage, maybe 10% shares of the bag, right? Just so you know what I'm going to do. You don't have to copy that. You take your own decisions, and it also depends on how much you have and so on, right? But that's for Vchain. What else? Let's look at XRP once again. We looked at it yesterday, but since then it moved. I mean, what the heck is going on? Okay. Yeah, XRP is just completely on a tear. And XRP, for example, here you see it, right? So considering that Vchain at 28 cents was at 90, XRP is right now at 85, right? On a monthly RSI. That should be a warning sign, at least for locking in some profits, right? Because can XRP go much higher to $5? It can. But it's not a guarantee. Also, it's not a guarantee that it wouldn't go way higher. But since we are basically in price discovery, we don't know what's happening next. And XRP is fairly large right now. Let's take one window that I don't need. Yeah, let's take the Steam Watch. Let's go to Live Coin Watch and look at the market cap, right? So, okay, so here we go. XRP is number 3 with 192 billion, okay? So for XRP to double in price, it needs 190 extra billion to flow in, right? Only to 2x. So it's fair to say that one could think about taking profits here, some profits, and roll it into something that is small and hasn't pumped yet. And this is also what others are going to do, like what traders are going to do, right? Could you please look at Shiba Inu and Luna? You mean like Terra Luna? Okay. SHIB USDT. Binance. Let's look on Binance, right? Actually, it's Binance. That looks pretty bullish in my opinion. Okay, so you don't want to lose this level. You probably won't. That's one part. You are going to coil up to this resistance. Yeah, I would say the likely scenario here is at the worst backtest, but probably just turn around, challenge this, and then you have something like this, and then boom, right? Why not? Next step, quadruple 067, approaching previous all-time high after breakout, I would say. That is that for SHIB. What is Luna Classic, LUNC USDT. Let's see how this looks. I mean, okay, so this is what you want to. What I don't like is that that didn't backtest. So you basically have something like this to break. Downward sloping upper resistance. Here's your support. Almost bearish cross on the TSI. Bear cross on the Mcade. I can't say I think that's super bullish. I mean, you could even argue, yes, you had a double top here, and then you dropped rightfully, and then you put in a lower high. Luna Classic, I mean, I also don't know why we should have this coin, right? I mean, there's no... Luna Classic was terrible for almost everyone back then, right? So this looks not so convincing in my opinion. Good morning, PH. What do you think of Injective? I think it's highly underrated. Yeah, that could be. Let's see. Injective was pretty big last... No, actually, Injective, sorry. I just thought about Engine. Injective was pretty big in the beginning of the cycle when we came out of the bear market. So this cycle. Injective Binance. Oh, yeah. That is pretty bullish, right? So okay, so let's just say we have somewhat of a support-ish range here, right? From this beginning, which turned into pretty nasty overhead resistance here, right? It didn't come through again, then it dropped massively, came back up, broke it, flipped it into support, which we see here, and now you want to continue, right? So I would say you just have this as a reference. You want to approach this, break this with confirmation. You're definitely, I mean, this is the weekly. You're definitely not, let's look at the monthly even. So you are definitely not overbought in any way. Oh man, this sucks so much. This constant going offline here out of the trading view. So you have this. You had last February in our ETF pump, you have reached 83 in RSI, and I would say there's way more to go for Injective, because we are only at 50. It's barely bull market support, right? But it is like 40 is the absolute support, which is here. yeah, I would say much higher price discovery is coming. What maybe we have to look at it, but just let's take a scenario here for Injective, in which this on a monthly, I mean, I don't know what was it, maybe if there's any history before that. But let's just say this is a pullback within a wave 3, right? And then you have something like this wave 3 continuing, and then some massive profit taking in this price discovery when you're reaching the RSI. I don't know if that will play out like this, just theorizing, there's no confirmation. I think next step what you want is like break the support and confirm this breakout, right? And then you go into price discovery. That's what I would want to see. Johnny Dunn says, let's go, you were right on Link. Absolutely, man. This is going crazy. Link is going crazy. Let's see. Let's look at Link again. Yesterday we looked at it. Did we look at it on Binance? Yeah, there we go. Right. So here we have, for Link we have exactly that setup that I'm expecting for Injective. So you come out of this big pullback, bear market, whatever, right? It had this massive falling channel. Falling channel is the best thing that you can find. Is perfect retest, and here's your wave 3 continuation. So it's going also Link, like look at Link on the month. Look at Link on the monthly. It's also not overbought in any way. It also threatened a bear cross but didn't go. So the TSI is showing strength. The more history you have, the more accurate the TSI is, by the way. Also here, the Mcade flipped bearish slightly. This is why I don't like the Mcade as much as the TSI, right? Because it sometimes flips bearish even though it's only fake out. The TSI is not free from it, but Link, next step is going back to 30 and then hopefully breaking 30. And then next step is here the all-time high at 50, or the what is that? May 21 high, yeah, all-time high, and flipping that into support, right? We don't know if this just breaks and goes much higher. So this could also look like this, right? And you go here to 150 or whatever, right? But I would assume that $100 Link is the psychological barrier where the wave 3 might end, deep pullback back to 50, like 50% pullback, and then a wave 5 that goes, I don't know where, right? But no guarantees. But I think the wave 3 should go beyond the all-time high. Yeah. Yeah, Link is underrated just because of, like, Link is one of the few altcoins that actually have institutional and even national adoption, and which regulators will never touch in a negative way, because too much industry also already depends on it. So I think Link is pretty insane. From this backtest, you see how these backtests, these ugly backtests are good. We're up 200%. From the bottom, we're up almost 400% right now, 390%. This is a pretty big coin, right? I mean, Chainlink has a $15 billion valuation, but if you consider that last cycle Dogecoin was at 80 billion, and considering that coins like Solana are at 100 billion, I think 100 billion for Chainlink is absolutely possible, which would be, what is that, like a 7x or so? Toncoin is sitting at 13 billion, so pretty big as well. Let's see how the Toncoin is doing on the charts, right? Ton USDT. That's the monthly. Toncoin relatively fresh, right? I mean, okay. Wait, there must be more history. That must be recently listed or something. Like recently not, but let's see here. Okay. So, okay, so we had this downward sloping resistance a while ago. I think that was when we last looked at it. So we said I think if I remember correctly, we said we don't want to lose the support. It seems that we came back one more time to test the support. Here is the same as, which coin was it? With Injective. I mean, you could rate this as an extremely long bull flag, because it's, I mean, you have this, go like this. Hopefully, I would say challenge back to, what is that, 8, and then you go probably on a run, right? I mean, it's very unlikely that Toncoin doesn't run with the rest of the market. Very unlikely. Yeah. I didn't look into Ton since a while. How's the Twitter channel? Let's see what Twitter says. Their Twitter says. Ton blockchain. Telegram and Ton Core launched a new $200,000 coding contest. They seem to have a lot of money in their treasury to do that. Telegram seems to have a lot of money for that, but it's a good sign, I would say. Ton attack card game. So they have games on there, and Ton, if I recall it, like Telegram, if I recall it right, is pretty popular in Russia. And also these games that are like these mini games that are on Telegram. It has a ton of users. I don't know how it's in China, but in Russia, Ton is extremely popular, or Ton and Telegram. In just a few months, the Graph Fun Labs mini app has taken off, driving meme coin creation, trading for Telegram's 950 million active users. That is a ton of users, right? I wonder, I don't know if this is visible somewhere, what the percentage share is per country for Ton. Last week alone saw 3.7 million trading volume, plus 4K new wallets, Graphon establishing itself as a notable meme pad on Ton. It's funny, because this ecosystem basically seems to be Ton chain and then Launchpad, meme pad, gaming applications, and so on it. What else? EVM applications on Ton ecosystem. Yeah, I think L1s in general, like, and Ton is one, right? Will have a nice comeback. Let's follow Ton here. Okay. Buy it. We'll see. Maybe I buy it. Why not? How big is it again? $13 billion market cap. Yeah, could it do a 10x? Sure, from here. If you're already in it, probably even better returns, right? Mcade Vibes says, Mcade team ready for the GameFi run, getting ready to fly. Town Hall on X, very bullish. Yeah, let's look at Mcade. I mean, who doesn't love Mcade with these returns, right? Where did we look at it? Was it on Bitmart? There you go. Okay, so for Mcade we are still waiting for the big bounce. But it's good to see. We have 2 days, 17 hours left on this weekly candle, forming on support, and we expect boom, right? We expect big fat upside for Mcade, and hopefully, because we really don't want to see a bearish cross on these two indicators here. We already hit some on the weekly, a little bit of an overbought, so the correction was due. But I mean, like, look at this setup. I think Mcade. Let's see the market cap of Mcade, because I think this is like one of the coins that could go completely ballistic. Like, oops. Mcade, there you go. It's like on 1,500. Where's the market cap? Shit. We have to go to CoinGecko or something like that. By the way, if you have like any Mcade vibes, if you have any relation to the team, then tell them that they have to go on Live Coin Watch and fill in their market cap, or I don't know, right? The API for the market cap. And generally go on these sites, and so that people can look up this data. But probably they have filled this. Okay, there you go. So the market cap is below 50 million, just below 50 million. Fully, and here you see it, like, this is crazy, right? The fully diluted market cap of Mcade is only 10 million higher. So there's not much to dilute. And this is what I like so much. This is like Pumpamentals one-on-one, right? For dummies, whatever. This is crazy. Because 500 million, even in today's prices, would just put it somewhere, like a 10x from here, would just put it somewhere into the middle of average, right? So is a 1 billion possible, a 20x? Absolutely. I would say absolutely for this project. I mean, it doesn't really like look at this. Like, let's look at Live Coin Watch in the top 100, what the biggest coins are, right? So in today's valuation, a 1 billion wouldn't even put it in the top 50. So let's look at the next page. A 1 billion valuation would put it at place 95, where Pendle is right now. I mean, you have projects like Pendle, Say, AMP, ApeCoin, and Zcash, and so on 1 billion. But let's just say the market runs, and the altcoin market collectively does a 3x or something like that. You would look at all of these here at the $3 billion valuation. So that means 1 billion, a 20x, would not even put it into the top 100. In fact, it probably would put it even in the top 200 or something like that, right? So this 3x would be 1.5 million, so this would also not be it. So if the market goes ballistic, yeah, it would put it somewhere here in the top 200, right? And that's absolutely doable in my opinion, right? So I would say, yeah. Let's see, Mcade Vibe says, gangs of Metacade as epic, have you tried? Not yet. Red Racing now 2 going to 5 billion plus, I'm telling you. That would be, what did we say, 500 million, 100x. So Mcade Vibes is calling 100x on this. We are going to, so we said, outrageous but nice predictions. We will get them in here. So today is the 17th of Jan 2025. Mcade Vibes going to 5 billion plus. I telling you. Okay, so these things are necessary. These things are necessary for us to know how the sentiment was at a certain time, right? And what people expect from a certain coin, right? It's like what we also held on Bitcoin here, somewhere up here in the corner, I think. Yeah, here, right? This Health Wealth Gurus guy. Wait until you see the streets later this week. Price is worse than 2022 bear market. The Fed just put the final nail in the coffin. That was all 2 to 18th of September. So we have this still here. 2 to 18th of September was here. And the price of Bitcoin when this person said that was around $55,000. And now it's 100% gain. This is why this library of predictions is very good. I'm not here to trash your prediction, but I think we could also learn something from it if we say, okay, Mcade Vibes called the 100x on this channel on the 17th, right? If you disagree, I think you haven't researched the team at all. They have a lot ready to go. No, I don't disagree. I take these notes because I want to look back at sentiment and say either, oh yeah, that was super correct, or I will put my own prediction in here with you, okay? So I say 1 billion is absolutely reasonable. Let's put this here and do patient hodler. I'm willing to do that, no problem. And I'm also willing to patient hodler. I think 1 BN is absolutely possible. Okay? There you go. Exactly. I think that's the key, what Patrick Bootman says. They need really big exchanges to achieve that. Yeah. But I think that's like the trading volume is pretty big. So they could get more exchanges fairly soon. And I think they have everything that is necessary to put in an outstanding run. And I don't think that for this specific coin, I don't think it's too late to buy, because they just came out of the slump basically, and are poised to rally. I don't think it's too late. So just holding here are some predictions. I mean, I'm here with my face recording myself giving predictions, so technically it's not necessary, but I just want to hold it here for the future. So 1 billion would be a 20x. Imagine turning $1,000 here into 20,000. I mean, that is good, right? That would be a good return. Mcade doesn't stop here with the stuff. GameFi, play to earn, AI agents, base. They know they need exchanges. They have them lined up. They waiting for gaming run. Silly to list now. I'm telling you, I spoke to Russ all about this. Okay. Yeah, I think you really want to have a hard hit on the narrative and see the altcoin run starting at all, right? See the altcoin starting to run, and then bam, the exchanges will hit. We remember Chili's from the last cycle was exactly like that. Chili's was forming like a chart pattern like this on really low levels, and then it starts to break out, and it was like Kraken, Binance, bam, and it just went ballistic. So in the end, it looked like this. You barely could see this, and it looked like this. So it was completely nuts. I think it went 50x or something like that from this bottom forming. But that's why it's so important to buy when it's extremely low, if you're convinced on these fundamentals. But okay. Omi, do we have anything new on Omi? Not really. It's slightly green, but not really. We hope that it can hold this. That would be the dream. Why is Base getting popular? I think because it's cheap. It's incubated in Coinbase, and it has already a ton of projects on it. So they kind of struck an interesting ecosystem there. It doesn't have a coin, but yeah, I think it's easy to use. Maybe, I don't know. So let's look at Veve. I think one day, until this a little bit more exciting drop, we talked a lot about Veve here. Galactus drop is coming. Stacking or slacking, Daredevil. Season 2 collectors at heart. That's the Metaverse Live stuff. Galactus Cosmic Power. Daredevil comic. Captain America comic. So there's not much news. So I think I will end it here today for... we talked a lot about altcoins. I think that's important. That's necessary. Guys, make sure to smash up the like button right now. 41 people here. So if I turn off and there's only 20 likes, I will be really sad. So guys, please make sure everyone smash up the like button here. and subscribe to the channel, notifications on so you never miss out on a stream. Stay tuned for much more content, and I wish you all a great weekend. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I'll catch you in the next live stream or video. Have a good one. Bye.